Hey, good afternoon everyone. So as we talked about, we're going to be having a three-part series here talking about some stretches and movements that can be done at home to make sure that we're maintaining any progress that we've already had with chiropractic care, preventing any problems going forward, and of course at some level helping to treat some of those nagging pains and the things that may be coming from spending more time working at home and sitting in these potentially uncomfortable positions. Yesterday we went through a couple of movements. These were what we call mobilizations, especially for the neck, and then one for the spine. We'll be using a foam roll. Today what we're going to be doing is talking about three main stretches that we can do, which are going to be more for the upper body. Now generally when people are sitting, they're going to be coming more forward and they're going to be more hunched. What this means is going to start to affect three main areas. Number one, of course we talked about the neck yesterday, but today the main areas we're talking about will be the chest, the shoulders, and affecting the upper back as well. Now something that's very common that we even see with some of our patients is that because this is all coming forward and there starts to be this ache in the back, people go and get massage and they work on that area in the back. To be honest, this actually could make things worse. If you are coming forward, all those muscles then, that means that they are stretching out, they're getting longer. So then if someone goes to a massage and they say do some deep tissue work or something in there, then it may not actually make things better, it may be making things potentially worse because it's beating up those muscles which are tired because they've been trying to correct your posture as they've been overstretched. So really what makes more sense is to stretch out the shoulders and especially the chest, which have been overworked. However, what we're going to start today with is a movement that's actually going to be more for that upper back area. So again, instead of trying to work in those muscles and try to essentially work out knots, it's going to be more about helping to correct that posture so it'll be able to work better. So I'm going to bring the camera over. So everything is a little bit makeshift here at the moment. So what we're going to be doing is, from here, you can use any normal wall, have the hands against there, so as I stand here, it'll be kind of perpendicular to my body and then parallel with the floor. And then from here, taking a few steps backwards, take a little bit more, and then just letting the head drop through. And all we're doing here is trying to make sure that we're stretching out that top area up here and the top of the spine, making sure it's nice and straight, keeping the chin in, so not trying to extend the head, but actually keeping the chin in close to the body, and then letting the body drop further down towards the floor. Don't allow it to be all from your lower back, but make sure it's coming a lot from that area between the shoulder blades at the top as well. Holding this for around 30 seconds at a time would also be a good stretch for the shoulder capsule as well, and what we call the glenohumeral joint. So this is one particular stretch you can do, again doing a 30 seconds to start with, and then trying to increase those times as you go forward, trying to get to a point where maybe you can even do it for 1 or 2 minutes. Yesterday I know that the stretches, the mobilizations we did, they were more for say 5 and up to even maybe 15 minutes. However, they were much more what we call passive. Today these are active movements, so really we're aiming to get from 1 minute and maybe even trying to get up to maybe 3 minutes at the very most. However, for this particular one, I would say going up to 2 minutes will be the most. However, we're going to go through 2 other stretches now as well. So that one is going to be more for the upper back, helping those muscles come back to a more aligned position where the posture is better. The second thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a stretch for the chest. When we're sitting at desk and we come forward, this muscle starts to naturally get shorter. So what we want to do is we want to lengthen it out so that it can open up that area so these muscles at the back don't have to overwork by trying to fix things. So from here, again, making sure that your shoulder is going to be tight to the body, making sure that this part of the arm is not too far down, not too far up. Again, much like the last movement, we want it to be perpendicular to the body and parallel with the floor. So we want it to be the same as your floor, nice and flat. And then from here, make sure you're just kind of coming forward and stretching out this front area. So you should feel a real stretch between here and here, which is the length of the muscle. So where it attaches into the top of your arm and then here through the center of the chest. And making sure you're moving your legs forward and you're really feeling that stretch in there. So not just coming forward with your head, not just bringing it forward with the lower body, making sure all of it's coming across and you're really feeling it across this area. Again, starting with this one at 30 seconds and then working your way up. Again, we want to try and make this to about 2 minutes. If you can, trying to make it up to 3 or 4 minutes. Doing this on both sides, even if there's only symptoms on one side, it's important to make sure you're doing this on both sides. So again, you don't need anything fancy. All you can do is just do it with a normal wall and you'll have everything that you need there. The last stretch we're going to do is going to be for those shoulders. So for this one, it'd be easier if you have a chair. A chair is always going to be one of the easiest ways to do this. So from here, all we're going to do is have say your hand underneath the buttocks, or if you have a chair, again, you can have a handle underneath the chair. All the main purpose of that is just to keep this arm nice and stable. So when it's there, we want that shoulder to keep down, what we call being depressed or keeping it down. And then with the other hand, bringing the head across. So again, not too far forward, not bring it back, just bring it right across. And then from here, very slightly, bringing the chin towards, and then bringing the chin away. And try to find those areas where you find there's more tension, or it feels more uncomfortable. Those are the areas that you want to focus on more. So, say for myself, as I bring across here, and as I come more in with the chin more towards the body, more towards that right arm, for me the right arm, this is where I start to notice it feels more tension. So this is where I should really hold it. And again, making sure your shoulder stays there. So you're not bringing it up, keeping the shoulder nice and constant, and bringing things across. Holding in this position, this is something you can do at the end of, say, a long work day, or if you have had, say, an exercise session recently as well. Again, these are stretches not just for when you're working from home, but they're actually very helpful if you have been exercising or having more time sitting when you've been at work as well. However, now, especially when you are spending more time at home, working from home, these are stretches which will help to mitigate any potential symptoms which may come up and maintain some of the progress you're already having with your practitioner. For these stretches, so as we went through, there's one for the upper back. That one I would suggest starting with 30 seconds and then trying to build your way up to potentially around 2 minutes. For the ones for the shoulders, sorry, for the chest and for the shoulders, this is where you want to start with, again, around 1 minute, doing this both sides, and then trying to work up to 2, 3, or potentially even 4 minutes. However, if you're doing 2 minutes, 2 minutes should be plenty. One of the reasons I want to go over quickly now is why we go over these stretches for such a long time. The truth is that if you're doing something for 10 seconds, you may feel, oh, I bring my head across and oh, it feels great, and oh, it feels like a great stretch. The truth is it's only going to be there for that 10 seconds. It's not going to last very long. So what you need to do is have these stretches going for a longer amount of time so that those muscles can actually change in what's called their plasticity. So in terms of, say, the chest, which gets shortened when you're sitting for long periods, we want it to actually open up and be longer, not just feel better, but actually function better. And for that to happen, things need time. Of course, healing overall takes time, but in terms of stretch, it means you need much more time as well. So as I mentioned, for those last stretches, holding from between 1 and then up to potentially 4 minutes, doing both sides at every point. And this is something you can do at the end of a work day, or even, if possible, try to do before you even start. Before you start means that, say, you wake up in the morning, you already, say, maybe a little bit more forward posture, a bit more slouched. This is going to start to bring you back so that when you actually get into work, you're less likely to develop these problems over time, you can work more easily, and you're not suffering at the end of the day. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, or of course you can give us a call on 8438-9550. I'll also be returning WhatsApp to myself to make sure, of course, we can keep up with any updates people have. And if you want to book in, we are doing online consultations. This is where we'll be able to go through your case and do this by tele online, and we'll be able to find out if this is something we can help you with, and we can refer for x-rays, so then as soon as we're open after this circuit breaker has happened, we'll be able to make sure that we start treatment, if necessary, as soon as possible. If you have any questions, again, like I said, you can always get in contact with us. Otherwise, stay safe and look after each other, everyone.